Hey guys! Welcome back to Trojan Tea Time, where we bring you life hacks, hidden gems, and resources from both us and students like yourselves. So, where's Allison?
Where's Allison?
Allison looks kind of different today.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, Allison graduated. Allison's
Congrats, Allison. We love Allison. Allison, if you're watching, we love you.
Hi.
This is Rachel.
Hi, I'm Rachel.
Rachel, tell us a little bit about yourself.
So, my name's Rachel. I also work for USC Student Life, and I'll be helping out with the podcast this semester.
Yeah, super exciting. As you can see, our location's a little bit different.
Yes.
It's Friday, so no one's really going to class unless it's like discussions. But usually during the week, how do you get to class, Rachel?
Well, I live off campus. I'm a grad student. I live in grad student housing, and I'm like a mile away, so usually I'll just bike to campus. It's only like a 10 or 15-minute bike ride. If I'm feeling like I have more time, maybe I'll walk, and that's maybe 20 minutes. So I'm pretty close, and I can do those two things pretty easily. But if I'm feeling really lazy, I might drive to campus.
Right.
So I have like 3 modes of transportation.
Yeah. That's so valid.
Yeah.
And it's great to have those options. I also bike sometimes, and recently I have been walking a little bit because it's kind of like fun, and like I like to romanticize my walk to campus. But I think a lot of us here in LA, we drive at some point. We are all pedestrians at some point during the day, so it's really important to think about staying safe while you do that. We take a lot of things for granted, especially here on campus, but it's really important that we know certain safety tips.
Yes.
And make sure that we're getting to class safe and our peers can get to class safely. So yeah, also, maybe you guys have noticed the pedestrian safety signs behind us. That's super swaggy.
Yeah.
Pedestrian signs.
Yeah, they're all over Truesdale. I guess they're new this semester.
They are.
Yeah.
Just put them up.
Yeah.
And it's a great reminder
To stay
safe. Rachel, did you know? Fun fact, really, really sad fact. In Los Angeles, over half of pedestrians injured in vehicle accidents are hurt while using a crosswalk.
You know, that doesn't really surprise me that much because I hear about that a lot too. Like, it's a crosswalk and the walking sign's on, but still, like, it's important to be wary of your surroundings, even though the sign might say it's okay to walk.
Yeah.
Sometimes the drivers aren't paying attention when they should be. So you have to look out for that.
They can be dangerous. Yeah. Even when you have the right of way, like no matter what vehicle you are in, and even if you're not in a vehicle, you have to, like Rachel said, you really have to be aware of your surroundings. Yeah, so because we're in LA, it's a driving city. A lot of students here at USC have cars. Mm-hmm. We're going to go through some driving safety tips. A lot of it is self-explanatory, but
it's still important to just have a friendly reminder of.
Yeah, because we forget sometimes
how
important some of these things are.
Yeah, so one of the first tips that we have is basically just keep an eye out for pedestrians everywhere. Especially around campus, there are a lot of students walking, biking, and driving. So generally just kind of be aware of your surroundings when you're driving and the people that you're close by to.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like because we're a college campus, students are like emerging from everywhere. Like I will see students crossing the street where there isn't a crosswalk, so that's another thing you have to really be careful about. And then also be extra careful. This sounds self-explanatory, but like the other week when we had like tons of rain, this was a really big reminder to just pay extra attention in harsh driving conditions, like when it's dark out, when there's rain, when there's fog. Go slower. Just do that.
Another safety tip that we have is to kind of make sure you slow down and be prepared to stop when turning or entering a crosswalk. Like we said earlier, like a lot of pedestrians are hit on crosswalks by cars. So just as the driver, if you are driving and have a car, just to be aware when you do approach a crosswalk, might be someone there. So just to, abide by the rules of the road and slow down and stop for them.
Yeah. Okay, this is a good one that actually like as a person who drives in LA, I don't do this enough. It's really dangerous to pass by cars that are parked like right in front of a crosswalk because people could be starting to cross and you wouldn't know. So either go super duper slow or just like if they're not going to move anytime soon, go super duper slow. If they are going to move, just wait until they pull out.
Right. One of our other like kind of last driving safety tips that we have is to just be extra cautious whenever you're backing out, and just like I know in some of the parking garages, like there could be people walking to their cars too as you're backing out, and usually those spaces are pretty tight.
Mm-hmm.
So just being like wary of that, you have the full like back of you covered whenever you're pulling out to make sure that there's no one behind you and you don't hit other people walking or other cars like pulling out, but generally like not just in parking garages, but anywhere else that you happen to be backing out of.
That is so true. I feel like parking lot driving and pedestrian safety is something that we don't touch quite enough.
And I feel like that's where, accidents happen a lot, especially in parking lots.
Yeah.
So it's always good to be wary of that when you're driving.
And I definitely know, like, we're college students. Sometimes we don't take our time. I know people who have, like, been in the parking lot and have, like, either had close calls or, like, have been injured. So if you're a pedestrian in a parking lot as well, I think it's easy to just, like, go on your phone while you're, like, walking to your car or whatever. But that's a place to be really aware of where you are and make sure you're not accidentally walking into a backing out car.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then next we're going to talk a little bit about pedestrian-specific safety that we just started leading into.
One thing that might seem, again, pretty obvious, but students don't always do is to just walk on the sidewalks. That's meant for pedestrians, and that's probably the safest place to be walking in terms of people who are driving around you, so cars aren't on the sidewalks.
Right. Can't get hit by a car if you're walking where a car doesn't go. Actually, on that point, like, one thing that I was always told is, like, when you're standing at, like, about to cross the road, don't stand, like, some people, like, stand, like, on the edge of the curb. You don't want to do that. You want to better be safe than sorry. And then off of Rachel's point, if there is no sidewalk, this is something I've always been confused about. I never know which way to walk. But always walk facing traffic so that people can see you, and don't walk in the middle of the street. Like, try to walk as far away from where the traffic is going as possible.
Yeah, and that is the opposite rule applies to bikes. So if you're biking, you bike with traffic, but if you're walking
toward traffic or like facing traffic.
Yeah, but that's just so drivers can
see that you're there, because you're not a
and bikes usually have reflectors too, so drivers can see them.
Right.
But typically, like, pedestrians don't.
Right.
Really have.
We talked a little bit about this before, but like, it is always going to be the safest to cross at a crosswalk. I know it's easier to take shortcuts, just like jaywalking, cutting through the street. It's always going to be safest to just walk to the nearest crosswalk.
I think one of our last tips that we have is even just around campus, I'll notice students look like deep in their phones, like looking at their phones when they're walking, and especially during the like pedestrian traffic hours on campus, which is like 11 to 2 usually. It's pretty busy. It's always good to just look up from your phone and to be aware of your surroundings, because I've definitely been in close calls just biking around campus, and someone will be on their phone and not notice that we're like kind of heading toward the same direction.
Right.
So it's always good to like I know phones are entertaining.
Silly
There's
and
lots of
fun.
things to consume, but it's also good to kind of just look up and be aware of your surroundings for your own safety.
Take in nature. And romanticize your walk to Taper Hall. Like, why not? Like, literally, why not?
Yeah, and it's Los Angeles, clear blue skies most of the time. It's beautiful weather.
Yeah, it's like spring semester.
Yeah, things are changing already. So
it's so beautiful. And I think, like, just one big takeaway, this sounds so cheesy, but like, just have compassion for everyone that's like on the road, that's like traveling, trying to get to class. An extra like 2 minutes to get the seat that you want isn't gonna be the end of the world. So slow down, slow your roll. It's gonna be okay. You don't want to hit into a person because that would be not worth it. That would really not be worth it. So
I guess also walking around campus and maybe sometimes on campus, it's good. Like, I like listening to music whenever I'm walking around, but maybe perhaps during like busier hours on campus, it's good to like kind of hear your surroundings too, so you're not running into anyone.
Right.
And also more specifically, like if you're not on campus and closer to cars or bikes, that's also really good to be aware of, like when you hear a car approaching that might sound like a little too close for comfort, or something like that. It's good to just be aware of just like the exterior sounds rather than music. But I also understand like listening to music
it's fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do it too. It's just like, you know, common sense sort of.
Yeah, or
practice.
like we've said this in a previous episode, like take out one AirPod.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
Just take
compromise.
Out one. Yeah.
I think that's all we have. We don't have any student input, but if you do want to let us know your thoughts, your own pedestrian safety tips, comment down below. Let us know. We would love to know.
Thanks for watching, everyone. Make sure to follow us at USC Student Life on Instagram and TikTok. If you engage with us, leave us a comment or send us a DM. You might be featured in our next episode. So, yeah, thanks for tuning in.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.